What's up, everybody? Quick trading update as we close into the session here. This December 18th. We haven't done this in a while, so let's play a little catch up here. Take a look at the indexes for the past month. We had finally a pullback off these all-time highs at 208. And the interesting thing about it is while we were sort of being held up here, we saw some weakness come into a lot of sectors, a majority of sectors, until it was only maybe the credit cards that were still holding us up. Maybe some healthcare names as well, a few names here and there. But finally, SPY gave it up. We had a couple of gap downs, and the move lower was very complicated to hit on the short side because of all these 20 handle, 30 handle squeezes, and then oftentimes gap ups, and really volatile action. I'd like to point to the last couple of days, so we go ahead and take a look at the last, let's say, 5 days here. Yesterday and the day before. So Wednesday, we gapped down, and there was news about China slowdown, all the same stuff that really has pushed us lower. In the past, we also had Russia. Interest rates being raised over there and the ruble being smacked. A lot of negative news came out, and then we literally squeezed like 40 handles, maybe. It was one of the craziest days. And then to top it all off, as if that wasn't enough, we sold all the way back down to lows. And literally, you figure everyone was positioned here on the short side. Open up the next day, we gapped up kind of in the morning, and it was right around 199 or so, and then we just kind of trickled up all the way back to 202. And today, ladies and gentlemen, monster overnight 25 handle gap up, which puts us right back to within a sort of stone's throw of these all-time highs. So they did a great job of squeezing some longs out, pushing in some shorts, hurting some bears as well. So we're sort of back here to a situation where we could lean towards those all-time highs as we close the month of December. So let's just take a look at the intraday action today. SPYs were pretty complicated, obviously, with the 25 handle gap up, but the bullishness, the sort of sentiment remained. So it was kind of like a dip by day. There was a lot of opportunity in the social media names, which we're going to highlight here today. Social media, during the sell-off, Facebook, and actually LinkedIn more so than anything. LinkedIn more so than anything. If you look at the 10-day, she never really sold off, never really gave up 215. So I'm sitting there ready to sort of plug in on a long, if the market did come back, and we came back 25 handles in the overnight. Most people obviously missed the entry on this move. And then we're sort of scrambling in to get in right off the open. So, LinkedIn is definitely one that took off today. Provided a lot of opportunity here on the weekly calls, as well as next week's calls. If you take a look at this thing on a month basis, this is where she came off from. Actually, we'll go back to 3 months, right? So this was the earnings call. She pops all the way up to 237. I think she's headed right back up there, possibly even higher. If we take a look at the Facebook, kind of similar chart here, has a gap around 80 bucks. A lot of consolidation up here at around $78. I'm looking for this thing to go up to 80 as well. If you look at Twitter, she's kind of the laggard of the sector. Not really doing much. Another sector that performed well today were the banks. So if we take a look at Bank of America, the gap up put her back to that recent range. She couldn't really break over 18 bucks. But if you look at Wells Fargo, this is really indicative here. I mean, this is it right here. So this is a monster washout for all these people that got sort of buried long here. Monster washout, and now we're right back. So if you look at Morgan Stanley, you'll see kind of the same thing. She actually did hit 38 here. Goldman is a bit of a bleeder here, so she's got some things to retrace. Citi is also one of the weaker ones as well. J.P. Morgan too. So there could be a lot of activity in these banks going forward, especially since Russia hikes some interest rates. We are also talking about interest rates, as we know the Fed minutes came out yesterday, and didn't really allude to much as far as when they're going to do it, but they said again it's coming down the pipeline, so could be as close as a couple of months from now. So watch these banks going forward. Honestly, I think now, volumes are going to die down as we go into next week, so we're going to have much tighter ranges on the SPY. You're not going to see any of these crazy 20 handle, 30 handle moves. Personally, that's what I think, and it's going to be kind of a dip buy scenario here. My P&L for the day here. Let me move this over here. As you can see, all I traded was Facebook weekly calls for next week. I traded the 77s and some Citigroup calls, and again, I'm just kind of messing around, dip buying 100 contracts here and there, chalked up a decent amount of profit. But the money that was made overnight, which seems to be happening more often in this particular market, was pretty incredible, guys. And again, I mean, not a lot of people caught it simply because we closed right here after looking so bearish. Plenty of shorts are stuck here, and it's a shame. It's a shame. A lot of people tried to call the top again. We're going for lows down here. We're going for more gap retraces all the way here. And just kind of didn't get them. So this was the squeeze from hell for a lot of people. And again, dip buyers rejoice. All right, so look for tighter spreads on the SPYs, tighter ranges on the SPY going forward, and maybe start dip buying some names. I like this Chipotle for a big breakout at some point to her all-time highs. You notice her all-time highs is around 680. I don't know when this is going to happen. This one's a tough one. As far as these other high flyer stocks, I think the juice is gone from these things. You look at Amazon here. Nothing much there. You look at Netflix here. You look at the Google today. So they all gapped up, but they retrace. They started selling off. This price line I still think has some bullishness in her, especially with Expedia, still kind of close to all-time highs. So yeah, going forward, guys, I would play lightly on the dips. Make sure you got some tight SPY ranges. If we do start selling off, though, stick to the SPY. Stick to the SPY. Stick to short in the SPY. We'll see going forward. I like this Facebook, so I'm looking at this Facebook and LinkedIn for further upside, as well as the banks. I also like this Baidu, which if you look at it from longer term here, this is a big range here. This is a really big range here. So she's kind of still in the same place, 230, 231, 235 kind of thing. She gets a buyer over this 235. You might be able to see these all-time highs pretty soon. All right, guys. So we'll see you tomorrow here for the trading update.